Hi everyone, day 2 here, Sharon Phillips. I'm here today because it's April and April is Sarcoidosis Awareness Month. To be honest with you, I hadn't planned on coming on another day back to back, but you would not have believed me if I told you the huge response I received from people from me coming on live yesterday, sharing part of my story, part of my journey. So for those of you that messaged me, emailed me, or commented and posted in different places on Facebook, because I am a part of a lot of sarcoidosis support groups, I want to thank you all. Thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for sharing with me. And thank you for trusting me. But before I get started, like I tell you guys all the time, I am not a doctor. I am not giving any medical advice. I'm just sharing my personal journey with you all, what I went through. So I want to kind of finish up my story of what I went through when I got diagnosed with sarcoidosis in 2022. But before I get started, I want to recap real quick for the people that didn't see my live yesterday what sarcoidosis is. And sarcoidosis is a chronic inflammatory granulomatous disease. It's an inflammation disease, autoimmune disease. It's called a couple of things, actually, that primarily affects the lungs, or the multi-organ involvement is common, okay? Sarcoidosis is not clear, however, it's genetic or environmental factors. They really don't know how you get it. There's no known cause, and unfortunately, there's no cure for it. It's very rare, but it affects a lot of people throughout the world. A lot of people have it and do not know that they have it. And we talked about that yesterday. So I'm not going to go through all of that again today. But I just want to continue my story of, again, how I got diagnosed. And I shared with you all how, when I was 21, I'm 56 now, one of my lungs collapsed while I was sitting down at the laundromat. And I think that was my first clue. I didn't get diagnosed till 2022 after having a whole year of having chest pains and going through all of these symptoms that just got brushed away. Let me give you some Advil. Let me give you some Tylenol. Just try having no stress, And as I mentioned to you also before, a lot of doctors are not familiar with sarcoidosis. So that's another reason why it takes so long to get diagnosed. From what I've been told, in medical school, they only get a paragraph about sarcoidosis. So they're not really familiar with it. So when I did get hospitalized when my lung did collapse when I was 21, they literally gave me a shot in my butt and sent me home. Okay? They gave me a shot of Demerol, I believe it was. I had my 1-year-old Jessica with me, who just turned 39. I drove myself to the hospital. I ran every red light, passed out. They gave me a shot in my butt, sent me home. At the time, I was broke and busted, okay? I was married, my ex-husband, broke and busted. So they sent 2 police to my house the next day. Like, knock, knock, knock. By the way, we want to tell you your lung is collapsed. They didn't even tell me when I was in the hospital my lung was collapsed. They sent me home, and it was a holiday weekend I'll never forget. So that holiday weekend, I was breathing out of a paper bag for days, not knowing what was wrong with me, not knowing I was walking around with a collapsed lung. Long story short, I finally was admitted into the hospital, and my upper left lobe had to be removed. I was in the hospital the whole 30 days of October. I'll never forget October. It was a sad month for me at that time. They didn't know. Every time they cut the machine off, my lung would collapse. I had to get a chest tube put in. They didn't know. And we don't know why your lung collapsed. Usually that happens if you're in a fight, you got shot, you got hit by a car. I was just sitting in the laundromat, and my lung collapsed. And you guys are probably saying, well, Sharon, why are you telling us this story? I'm telling you this story because fast forward to 2021, one of the symptoms for sarcoidosis is shortness of breath. Because they had to remove my upper lobe, your left lung have two big lobes. My top lobe had to be removed. And because of that, I had always been short of breath ever since then. So I couldn't really distinguish any difference once it started getting worse until I started getting wheezing. I was never a wheezer. I could hear myself just wheezing. And then the chest pain and, my eyes were acting up and other little certain things that brought to my attention. So that's why it took me so long to say, something's not right, because I've been short of breath since I was 21. So that's why I went back to tell you that story, why it took me extra longer to be diagnosed. Now, fast forward to 2022, when I did get diagnosed, like I said, I went through a whole year of testing. Finally, I got the PET scan, PET. And that is when they shoot you with radiation through your body. They knew something was wrong. They wasn't sure if it was lymphoma cancer or if it was sarcoidosis. Me, being who I am, I'm one of those people that read. I do my own research. I don't know if it's because of the type of job I have. I've always done my own research. So before I even had the surgery, I knew it was sarcoidosis. I knew it after I did my own research. Sure enough, I had the surgery, and as you all could see, they had to cut me here. It's called a mediastinoscopy. I'm probably not saying it right, okay? They give you choices. They could either go through your mouth or through your neck here. And no, I did not want the scar for life because I knew I had like kind of keloid skin. But I was like, you know what? By them going through my mouth, they told me they may or may not be able to get samples because they had to go down into my lymph node area to get samples. But they had a better chance by going through my neck. So I was like, you know what? I'd rather do the neck because I don't want you to have to go back in. After doing my research, I used to see back in the day, they used to go through your groin to get samples. So some people may have had that. And then I've heard stories where some people did not even have any testing done. The doctors just assumed it was lymphoma cancer, put ports in them only to find out they didn't have cancer. They had sarcoidosis. So things like this are the reasons why. Hey, Trishelle, thanks for joining. These are the reasons why I come on here to share my story. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I just want to share my experience because I'm hoping things that I share with you maybe could help you ask a question or do something different, okay? So, again, when I was given my results, they called and told me, oh, it looks like you have 2 enlarged lymph nodes. Nothing to worry about. I'm like, 2? Really? That's all? After all of that I went through? 2? Read your results, okay? For yourself, okay? They're going to send it to you in writing, and if they don't, you ask for them to send it to you in writing. You are entitled to that, right? After reading my results, I had 9 enlarged lymph nodes and nodules in my lungs. They didn't tell me all of that. And I'm like, well, why you just told me 2? Well, 2 are the largest they can. That means you lied to me. That's how I feel. Okay? Tell me the whole truth. Don't miss a thing. Don't tell me I only have 2 enlarged lymph nodes when it's clearly saying I have 9 enlarged lymph nodes and nodules in my lungs. Tell me the whole story. Anyway, like I said, be your own advocate. Be your own advocate. And if you can't read and understand it, give it to somebody else to read and understand it for you that you can trust, that will tell you what they're actually reading, okay? So after I did get diagnosed, they didn't even say, Sharon, let me treat you. They was like, we're going to send you to Cleveland Clinic. I'm like, Cleveland Clinic, thank God I make decent money. I had to get on a flight. First, it took forever to get the appointments. At that time, I was coughing like crazy. I just could not stop coughing. I was having a hard time breathing. And just imagine, I had to schedule, it was about 9 appointments with 9 different doctors in Cleveland. Now, silly me, I'm thinking I'm going to Cleveland Clinic. It's one building, it's a doctor's office and I'm going to be seen. I didn't know Cleveland Clinic is a whole city, y'all. It's a whole city. They have their own fire department, their own post office, their own university, their own police department, fire. It's huge. It's huge. Thankfully, my oldest daughter went with me. And we spent like 3-4 days out there. And they took their time. People fly from all over the world to Cleveland Clinic to see doctors from there. Again, you have to have money. You got to have good insurance. And that's why I feel bad that do not, especially me. What if I didn't have money for a flight? You know what I mean? What if I didn't have money for a hotel, But thanks be to God. I did. And I saw some magnificent doctors. I mean, when I tell you they take their time, they searched me from my head to my toe. Each doctor literally took 2 to 3 hours with me. Seriously, they wasn't joking. Like I said, the place was so big, I had to take buses or tram to the next building. But again, my oldest daughter was with me, making sure I was okay. And they do have stages for sarcoidosis. They do, just similar to cancer. They do have stage 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? It might be 4 stages. Like I said, whatever I'm telling you guys today, please do your own due diligence. I am not a doctor. I'm not perfect. So I don't want you to come back on here and saying, but Sharon said, no, check it for yourself. Double check everything I'm saying, okay? Because I'm not perfect. I did not go to medical school. This is only the research I have done on my own. But there are different stages of sarcoidosis. And from what I can gather for my own, I'm in stage 3, according to my results. But the Cleveland Clinic doctors say they don't like to look at it like that. One thing I've learned about sarcoidosis is called the snowflake disease. And they call it the snowflake disease because no 2 people have it alike. Everybody's different. There's not one person that will go through and have the same thing I have. So that's the nickname for sarcoidosis, the snowflake disease. I have on my shirt today. I'm not going to move my phone because it might fall. I couldn't find my selfie stick today. But I am representing. I have my shirt on today. Anyway, I came back. And while I was there, I want to stress, they wanted to give me medicine. But again, I did my own research. And I read how the medication is worse than the disease. To me, again, I'm not a doctor. To me, the medications that they are giving people for this disease is to try it out, to see if it works. And I didn't want to feel like a guinea pig. I wanted to at least try and do things the holistic way. And I have to say, thanks be to God, it's been working for me. But it takes a lot of discipline. And that's when I've learned to connect with my sarcoidosis platforms on different social media platforms, especially Facebook. If you or someone you know or love have sarcoidosis, please send them to the different Facebook groups for sarcoidosis. To me, it helps. Because if you're talking to somebody that don't have it, they don't want to hear about it. I mean, they may act a little concerned, but nobody knows what you're going through until they go through it. And I mean it. And that's with anything in life. That's why a lot of times my husband will ask me, Sharon, how would you react if this happened or that happened? And he should know my answer by now. We've been together 9 years. I always say, I'm not going to answer that question because you never know how you will react to a situation until you're in the situation, okay? So just be mindful of that. And I have to say, I thank God for the Sarcoidosis platform, because it gives me a chance, if I'm going through a bad day, I could talk to them about it or vent to them about it. And the best thing it does for me, and they don't even know it, it keeps me disciplined. Because one thing I will say, and I'm only going to be about 5 or 10 more minutes because it's my lunch break and I want to eat, right? It keeps me disciplined on my diet, because that is the first thing I changed when I found out. Before I had sarcoidosis, but I will say I got a little stricter with myself once I got diagnosed. I was like maybe 40-50% eating good before I got diagnosed. But after I got diagnosed, I would say I'm an 80-20 girl, right? That means I eat 80% healthy and maybe 10-20%. I'm in that range. Some days I do better than others, but I definitely changed my diet. And when I want to fall off the wagon, know what I do? I go in the sarcoidosis Facebook groups and I see. And again, I know this is the third time I'm saying this, but I will say it again. I am not a doctor. I'm not telling nobody to get off of their medication. But a lot of people are on the medication and they can't move. They can't move. Their bones are breaking. Unfortunately, they're dying. They're getting worse. Now, I'm not saying it's their medication. I'm not saying get off their medication. I'm just saying I don't plan on getting on the medication unless I absolutely have to. One word I've taken out of my vocabulary a long time ago is never and can't. So I won't sit here and say I will never take the medicine. I can't take the medicine. I'm going to say thanks be to God. As of now, I'm not on any medication. Thank you, Jesus. But I am trying my best to be disciplined on changing my diet, what I eat, what I drink. And that might be a whole nother video I do with you all, because I always have people ask me, well, what do you do? I do a lot. Okay? I don't want to brag, but let's just say you all don't know what I do to look like this. It takes a lot, and it takes a lot of discipline, because you may see somebody eat or drink something and be like, oh, I want that. Know what I do? I go on the Sarcoidosis Facebook groups, see what they're going through, and be like, you know what? No, thank you. Because now my mindset, I say to myself, do you want to eat to live or eat to die? And I will say, the days I eat bad, I don't feel good. And the days I eat good, I feel great. I just finished eating some nuts and raisins, for a snack. It's just all about making different choices. And it makes a huge, huge difference. So long story short, that's been my journey. Like I said, in another video, I will share with you all the vitamins I take, some of my dietary changes that I've made. But I do want to just go over a few things I'm going to be talking with you all this month. I want to be able to talk about my challenges, I'll come on here and share what happens to you with your eyes. Unfortunately, believe it or not, and I'm praying to God it doesn't happen to me, there are a lot of people that go blind from sarcoidosis. It affects all your organs. One thing I want to say, and I was going to wait to get to this when I'm talking about skin sarcoidosis. If you have a tattoo, and I know a lot of people have tattoos. Aren't they cute? But if you have a tattoo, I don't have any. But if you have a tattoo and it looks real bubbly, pimply under, it's not flat, it just look real like bubbly, get a check. That could be a sign that you have sarcoidosis. One of many, okay? So educate yourself. Now when I walk and I see people tattoos, I'm saying to myself, they don't know it, but most likely they have sarcoidosis. typed up a bunch of different topics. I'm going to try my best to get to this month. Like you all, if you know me, I have a husband, 4 grandchildren, 2 children. I work full-time and I have 4 small businesses. Yes, I'm busy and I'm blessed. But I will do my best to get on here more often to talk about that this month, sarcoidosis, because of the feedback that I received, the appreciation that I received, the encouragement I received. One of the things about me, if you've listened to any of my past videos, I love helping people in any way that I can. And if it's just to share my story or a word here and there, I'm going to do it. I mean, some people may not want to hear it, and you ain't got to hear it, okay? You can just turn me off if this does not, you don't want to hear it. But if it does, I want to thank you for listening. Watch out for me. Tell your friends and family about me. Spread the word. I'll go on, try my best to go on, come on every day to just share a little bit more each day. But that's pretty much the end of my journey. Well, it's not the end because I'm still living it. I still live it each and every day. Matter of fact, I still get a lot of chest pains. And I will say it's scary. It can be really, really scary because I work from home a lot of the time. Sometimes I go in the office, but sometimes I'm like, is this it? When I get that chest pain, I be like, so I always tell my daughters or my husband, if you call and I don't answer more than once or twice, can somebody come get me? Because the chest pain is real, okay? The chest pain is real and it's scary. I'm almost used to it, but I'm still very cautious. I just try to keep my phone in my hand with me at all times, just in case I have to dial 911. And I do get checked often. Insurances are changing, so now, unfortunately, I can't have virtual meetings with the Cleveland Clinic. So if I need to go back, I got to fly all the way back out there. Like, it's very unfortunate because the doctors here, and I'm not saying all the doctors, most of the doctors here are not too familiar with it. And I would love to go to a specialist, right? One time, and I won't say any names or any doctor's office names because I'm not trying to degrade anybody. But one time I went to a doctor and I saw one of the doctors. She was a physician's assistant. She didn't even know what sarcoidosis was. I spent 20 minutes explaining to her what my autoimmune disease was. Like, she had never heard of it. And it was very discouraging. Here I'm coming to the doctor to tell you about a symptom I'm having or whatever, and you don't even know what it is. So that's the sad part. I really wish insurances would allow you to ask for the test that you need, especially if you don't have money to pay for it out of your pocket, or provide you money to fly or drive to places that do understand the rare autoimmune disease, sarcoidosis. So if you or someone you know have symptoms, again, it mimics long COVID, bronchitis, asthma. A lot of people have sarcoidosis and don't know they have it. But you need to know what tests to ask for. You need to look. I posted today some of the symptoms. The most common symptoms, again, this is a snowflake disease, which means everybody have different symptoms, okay? Not two people are not alike, all right? So what I have may be different than somebody else, okay? And unfortunately, it affects all your organs. It could. It's not definite. It could affect all your organs, okay? Or it could just go away. I know a few people that have sarcoidosis. They had one little episode and it never came back. And if that's you, be thankful. I was really, really hoping that was me. But unfortunately, that hasn't happened. But I am thankful when I'm having a bad week or out of remission and I'm coughing real bad. I'm not feeling too good. I do have a job that's very understanding and allow me to take the time that I need, if it's to work from home or if it's to take off. So, like I said, I am very, very thankful. I'm going to go ahead and end this live. I will be on again soon, again, to share some of the things I take, some of the things I eat, some of the exercises I do, talk about stress management. There is so much to talk about with sarcoidosis, and just bringing awareness to it. But I want to thank you all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. You've had it for over 30 years, Karen. God bless you. And thanks for joining. Thank you all. I hope I'm touching lives, and I encourage you all to do what I'm doing, especially this month. I feel like the only way we're going to get the word out if we all get on. It upsets me sometimes when I see in October, all you hear is cancer, 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 cancer. And when I tell you, I do deeply feel bad for the people that have cancer. But like I said, most doctors will tell you, you would have been done better if you had cancer, because we can give you radiation, chemotherapy, or do surgery on you. With sarcoidosis, there's nothing except giving you medication that might treat you or make you a lot worse. I've seen people that get high doses of steroids, and within years or less than years, everything just breaks down. And I mean break, every bone. And it just makes you worse. So, and I read that beforehand. The medication is worse than the disease. So unless, and again, I'm not your doctor. I'm not telling nobody to get off their medication. I'm just saying, do your research. You know, if you really, really need that medication, then you really, really need to stay on it. Right? Thankfully, I'm not on any medication, and I want to just share, you know, with you all what I do. Again, no two people are alike, so you may not have, you know, the blessing that I have, right? I wish it was for everyone, but if I could help one person, I would be so thankful, okay? Go back and listen to my yesterday's live, today's live. I also have a YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out, where I'll be posting all these, and my YouTube channel, and let me make sure I get it right. It should be Sharon Phillips TV. Okay, Sharon Phillips TV. I would love for you all. Let me make sure I pull it up. Yes, Sharon Phillips TV. I would love for you all to go to my YouTube channel, subscribe, like, listen to a couple of my videos. They're about different things, okay? I'm about to end this live now. But I will be on again probably tomorrow, okay? I thank you all for joining. I feel the love, and I feel so grateful that God has blessed me and used me as a vessel to share my story with the hopes of helping someone. Have a blessed day, everybody. Bye-bye.